Mic test, testing 1, 2, 3, mic test.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Laredo College Board of Trustees Town Hall. My name is Raimundo Gonzalez, and I am your student body president at Laredo College.
And my name is Victoria Cáceres, as I serve as a senator for the Student Government Association. It is an honor to be with you today as we bring together our candidates for the Board of Trustees. This is an important opportunity for our college community to hear directly from those seeking to represent us and to engage in meaningful dialogue about the future of Laredo College.
Today's town hall will be structured in 3 key segments. First and foremost, opening remarks. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to introduce themselves, share their vision for Laredo College, and discuss the priorities they plan to address if elected.
Following the opening remarks, we will move into a moderated Q&A session. The questions will focus on key issues such as student success, innovation, and budgeting, among others. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to respond to each question.
Finally, during our closing remarks, each candidate will have 3 minutes to highlight their platform and summarize their key points.
With that said, let's begin with our opening remarks. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to introduce themselves and discuss their vision for Laredo College. We'll start with candidate Adriana Alexander, running for position 4, who isn't with us here today. Followed by candidate Jorge J.D. Delgado, running for position 4. Followed by Lizzie Newsom, running for position 5, who isn't here with us today. Candidate Lupita Cepeda, running for position 5. And finally, Esteban Rangel, running for position 6, who is joining us tonight but would prefer to grant his speaking time to the rest of our candidates.
Candidate Cepeda, you may start now.
Thank you. Appreciate the time, and thank you for having this, organizing this student forum tonight. My name is Lupita Cepeda. I am your current president at Laredo College Board of Trustees. I am retired from AT&T. I keep hearing the buzzing. I don't know if you heard. I'm retired from AT&T after 40 years with AT&T, and I now work with State Representative Tracy King, which is one of our legislators that covers Webb County. And I love serving on the Laredo College Board. We have brought a lot of different things to the board, to the college. We continue working with our president, Dr. Ramirez. We have a really good board that we all get along. We disagree, we agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, we do the right thing for our college. My vision is to continue doing what we're doing. I want to continue giving you the Palomino Pledge, continue giving you your meal card, continue doing MOUs with the different universities that we already have available to where it could be a smooth transition for any of the students that would like to transfer to a different university, whether you'd like to stay here in Laredo or you'd like to go anywhere else. So we continue doing that at the present time. And of course, not raise taxes. Since I've been here 6 years, we have not raised taxes to our constituents that pay taxes to Laredo College. We have not raised them. So I want to continue that if we're able to afford it. I continue asking for money. I'm out there I serve on other clubs, and I'm constantly, I think my nickname is Pediche, because they see me coming and they know I'm going to ask them for money, including the congressman and including senator and the state representative. So I continue bringing anything and everything that we can to the college. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Lupita Cepeda. Candidate Jorge J.D. Delgado, you may start now.
Thank you so much. And first and foremost, just to echo the sentiments of Ms. Cepeda and thanking the Student Government Association for all your hard work and dedication in putting this together. I know I spoke with some of you briefly and how these forums are very important, especially for the student body to engage in, especially with regards to the few of you that recently just got inducted in there. So hats off to you and thank you so much for doing this. My name is Jorge Delgado. I go by JD. I am a private business owner. I serve on the board since 2018, in which I first got elected. And I think throughout my tenure here on the Laredo College Board of Trustees, I think one of the main things that we've been committed to is advancing the college's mission of providing the high quality, accessible education to all students, whether it's from those students that are just coming straight out of high school all the way to those that are on the adult level in the workforce education side. One of the things that, of course, as a trustee that has been one of our goals, so to speak, or one of our jobs is making sure that we have a fiduciary duty, not only to the taxpayer, but more importantly, to the school itself. Making sure that we're strategic in our budget planning, along with the president and the administration, making sure that the little money that we do get, since we're only taxing the city of Laredo as a community college, making sure that enough of that goes around to not only the students, but not only the faculty, the staff, but also more important to the programs that each and every student can become a part of. And I think that's one of the major goals that we've been able to accomplish in these past 6 years, in making sure that the programs and the degree plans that are put in place for the students are there to effectively make sure that it's the foundation for your success later on in the future. I know Ms. Cepeda touched on with regards to the Palomino Pledge, which is something that's definitely been worked on, and thanks to our president, Dr. Benita Ramirez, we're able to bring that to fruition, in which it's essentially helped out almost 5,000 students in comparisons with the money that we were able to allocate with that. And I think different programs like that, which I'm sure we'll touch a base on, is what our overall goals and what we strive to do to make sure that every student has an opportunity, especially those that otherwise wouldn't have had an opportunity to begin with to go to college. So thank you.
Thank you, Jorge J.G. Delgado. Now that we've heard the opening remarks, we'll move into our Q&A session. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to respond to the questions. Let's begin with the first question.
Candidate Cepeda, how will you ensure that the college remains competitive and relevant in today's rapidly changing higher education environment? You have 3 minutes starting now.
I believe we have a great president, we have a great staff, we have a great administration that is always looking on how we can continue improving Laredo College. When I first started 6 years ago, it was a little bit different, and I can see the change that has evolved as far as continue helping students, continue doing things for our students, and that's my goal, is to continue helping students, continue helping the workforce here in Laredo, because I know a lot of companies are always looking for employees. So we've got to make sure that we continue training our workforce, CDL drivers, nurses. A lot of these students that graduate from those two automatically have a job. So, and there's other workforces that we continue training. So I want to continue to have our administration, our staff, our professors to continue educating our students, to continue doing what we need to do to continue taking Laredo College to the next level.
Thank you. Candidate Delgado, how will you ensure that the college remains competitive and relevant in today's rapidly changing higher education environment? You have 3 minutes starting now.
I believe one of the things that as a board collectively, and even in some individuals on the board, have always prioritized keeping Laredo College at the forefront of innovation. I think it's very important because with technology, as everybody knows, something's new today and something is brand new tomorrow. And I think from a community college perspective, we need to make sure that we're at the forefront of anything that's coming in, because at the end of the day, most of this technology and innovation is here to help us be more efficient, help us to learn better, help us to learn faster in an ever-changing world that's going on today. I think one of the things that comes to mind right now is our OER, our Open Educational Resources, in which that in and of itself was something that was initiated by the faculty obviously came through with the administration, in which they offered basically ebooks, free textbooks for students, in which, as weird as it sounds, but back in my day when books cost $300-400, which I'm sure they still cost the same if they were to be purchased, that's one of the new initiatives that we try to push forward, and making sure that at the end of the day, if you remove certain barriers for students, that will essentially allow them just to focus on their education at the end of the day, it leads them just to greater success, moving forward. I think at the end of the day, I think we're if reelected, we're going to continue to try to focus on these types of initiatives, advocate for these type of forward-thinking programs. We want to make sure that we do partnerships with local industries, even organizations, nonprofit organizations and such, and make sure to ensure that our students are equipped with the skills that they need to be successful at the end of the day.
Thank you. Moving on to the next question. Candidate Delgado, how would you advocate for expanding access to educational opportunities, particularly for underrepresented and non-traditional students? You have 3 minutes starting now.
I think for, expanding access to education has always been something that I deeply believe in. I think throughout my time on the board, we've always supported initiatives that have always helped students, especially with those that have those financial barriers. And we have to be honest with ourselves that the majority of our students are those financial barriers are gonna exist. I think when it comes to being on the board and having at least that fiduciary duty and making sure that you have that strategic planning when it comes to the budget, you're able to figure out what it is that you can do with the monies that are available. I think a couple of things that come to mind is when we did some debt forgiveness for students that were impacted during the pandemic, during COVID-19, even though I know we don't like to say that out loud. But those efforts are designed to basically break those barriers so that students that otherwise would choose not to come back to get their education, to get their associate's degree, their workforce certificate, or even their bachelor's degree, which we now offer 2 of them. That's exactly the decision-making that goes into that process. I think another aspect of it is when we did the switch to the 4-week and the 8-week school programs or school week courses, basically to try to see what we can do to accommodate those non-traditional students that need that more adaptable schedule, so to speak. We want to continue to make sure that we champion these types of efforts, these initiatives, so to speak, to make sure that students continue to be involved, and that we do what we can to make things easier for students to basically just focus on their studies, so that when they move on, whether it's to a 4-year university or even to opening up their own business, they have that success in hand.
Thank you, Candidate Delgado. Candidate Cepeda, how would you advocate for expanding access to educational opportunities, particularly for underrepresented and non-traditional students? You have 3 minutes starting now.
So one of the things that our administration and our staff is doing, they're going to the high schools and talking to students to recruit the students that might think that they cannot come to college. And I know we have students that think because financially they're not able to come, or they're already working to help their families, to be able to continue helping their families. So we're constantly recruiting to make sure that we educate students at the high school level to let them know the different opportunities that we have been able to provide to our students. We're always looking at innovative ideas, and like I say, we have a great team that is always looking on how we can continue helping all our students that come to Laredo College. One of the opportunities that we had that we are able to work with, we're working with the city of Laredo to where if we have students that are homeless, we have partnered with the city of Laredo, and the city of Laredo is refurbishing apartments that have been abandoned. They're fixing them up, and guess what? Our students can go live there for free, as long as they continue being full-time students, keep their grade point average, but they have a home and they're able to become successful students. So we're always looking at how we can continue helping our students, because at the end of the day, Laredo College is an educational center. So we have to make sure that we provide anything and everything, all the tools that our students need. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Zepeda. Moving on to the next question. Candidate Zepeda, what experience do you have working with diverse boards or teams? And how would you ensure that the Board of Trustees functions effectively? You have 3 minutes starting now.
She's gonna need more than 3 minutes.
Well, working for AT&T in my past career, I always volunteered with, and I still do, I serve on at least 8 different boards. I serve on the workforce board, I serve on border region, mental health. I serve on junior achievement. So I'm very well versed on the different organizations that are out there that can help our students. So anytime that I hear or that I know somebody needs help, I have an organization that I'm in that we can go ahead and assist our students. I'm always looking for Laredo College. How can we help Laredo College? And like I say, my middle name is Pediche because they already know, they see me coming and said, oh God, she's gonna ask for money. But we need to, because we wanna make sure that all our students succeed here at Laredo College. So I'm very well versed on that, where I volunteer a lot of my time, besides my priority is, of course, my job, and then Laredo College, and then the other nonprofit organizations. Thank you.
Thank you, Candidate Cepeda. Candidate Delgado, what experiences do you have working with diverse boards or teams, and how would you ensure that the Board of Trustees functions effectively? You have 3 minutes starting now.
Thank you for that question. I think my experience has definitely grown since I first came on this board, which it's definitely been the honor of my career to be on this board. I do have to say, I think Chairwoman Cepeda left out a lot of the boards and nonprofits that she's a part of, even though she didn't list them. But I think going back to when I was in high school, there was always this aspect for my parents that instilled in me to volunteer, whether it was in nonprofit groups, or the likes within the community itself. I think graduating from college, when I graduated from UTSA, one of the first things that I always wanted to do was join, whether it was the Chamber of Commerce, which actually was the first one that I joined. Being in business, that was always the first go-to that my father would always say that you had to join. And being on different boards, whether it's from Rotary to Communities and Schools to Junior Achievement, I think being a part of those nonprofit organizations, especially those that are geared more towards education, whether it's from the elementary schools to the middle schools to the high schools, it definitely helps me gain that experience. I think to answer the second part of your question with regards to some more on that experience, I think we can say is the selection process with regards to our very own president. I think, Chairwoman President Cepeda and I definitely took part in that committee in which she chaired. And I think making sure that, gathering different stakeholders from the community to make sure to reach one common goal, whether it's from selecting the president of Laredo College or basically just deciding on the questions that are being asked at every single board meeting. We always make sure that we promote the principles and that the board, works effectively at the end of the day. And just like it was stated earlier, we agree, we debate, we agree to disagree, and at the end of the day, we're respectful enough to make sure that at the end of the day, the main question that we ask ourselves is, how is this going to benefit Laredo College? And that umbrella of Laredo College, everybody that's underneath it includes the faculty, the staff, and of course, most importantly, the students. We always want to make sure that, including the community as well. And every decision that goes into it with regards to any decision that goes into it, we always want to make sure that we ask that question at the forefront. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the next question. Candidate Delgado, how do you think community colleges should address the increasing demand for technology, and what role should the board play in supporting technological innovation? You have 3 minutes starting now.
I think that goes back to kind of what was said in the beginning is that, we've done as a board collectively, I think we've made some great strides over these past 6 years in making sure that we not only upgrade our technology, but we also keep in hand with the facilities that we have. I mean, we remind ourselves every day that, the institution itself it's up there in age. So we got to give a little TLC when it comes to making sure that whether we're upgrading from our internet to, the internet that we have now to fiber, to make sure that we have the speeds necessary to, review anything that we have. I think with regards to student engagement, any technology that we invest in, making sure that they have the proper training and they know that it's something that's going to be there for them to enhance their learning capabilities. And on stepping to the side of it with regards to our administration, our faculty, and our staff, to make sure that any technology that the college invests in or the board agrees to invest in that takes a significant amount of money is not only replacing technology that either isn't sufficient enough to work with the administration and the faculty and the staff, but it's also going to help do the same thing that we're trying to do with our students. But at the same time, we have to make sure that the training is also there, which is one thing that we always strive to make sure that we do with regards to our faculty and our staff. I think making sure that we support that innovation is one of the absolute necessities for this institution, especially when we're competing against other community colleges within the state. We're competing with universities as well. And I think we always go back to what our mission is with regards to the students themselves, is making sure that you get your start, making sure that you get what you need with regards to education to be able to move forward and move on to whether it's a 4-year university degree program or move on to workforce. But at the end of the day, it's making sure that that technology that is invested into the college or into the students is there to help support them.
Thank you, Candidate Delgado. Candidate Cepeda, how do you think community colleges should address the increasing demand for technology, and what role should the board play in supporting technological innovation? You have 3 minutes starting now.
As a board member, we get the recommendations from our experts, our staff experts here at Laredo College, because they're the ones that are actually working day in and day out with all the different equipment, all the different data, everything that is needed to make it easier for our students. That happens. And coming from AT&T, technology changes within a minute or within an hour. So I know how it changes, but we as board members, we expect for our experts that are out in the field, they're out in our college facilities to keep us informed, let our president know, and then she proposes to the board to get approval. In another way we have to also look at, we always have to have available monies, because data, equipment is very expensive. So we're always, again, looking for ways on how we can get more money. How can we get more facilities? AT&T just donated 75 laptops. So we're always looking out there to make sure that we keep Laredo College on top of data, different things, different equipment, different things that our students need. But also taking care of our facilities, like Mr. Delgado stated. Unfortunately, our college is an old campus. So I'm sure you've seen some buildings kind of going a little bit crooked at times, but we got to straighten them up once in a while. So one of the good things about our board is we're always looking at how we can innovate the different things that we need. Thank you.
Thank you, Candidate Cepeda. Moving on to the last question. Candidate Cepeda, how do you plan to balance the need for affordable tuition with maintaining the quality of education and services the college provides? You have 3 minutes starting now.
Okay, so in the 6 years that I've been on the board, we have not increased tuition. We have not increased taxes. We were able to work with our legislators to get some additional funding for the college that was not available before. Some of it was available, but not to the point that it is now. So we're always going to be looking, our board is always going to be looking for, again, our administration, our staff, to see how they can propose to us what we need to do to continue the process and continue giving you what you all need without raising tuition or any of the charges. Can't guarantee that's not going to happen, but believe me, our board will work very hard to continue keeping it at the level that it is now so that you can continue coming to school and not worry that next semester, oh my God, I'm going to have to come up with additional monies. So our board understands the needs of our students. So we're going to continue working. Of course, administration is going to have to let us know that and we're going to work, and we're just, excuse me, ask for money. If we're going to be looking at, we're going to have to raise, well, we're going to try to raise that money before we do the raising of the tuition or any additional fees. Thank you.
Thank you, Candidate Cepeda. Candidate Delgado, how do you plan to balance the need for affordable tuition with maintaining the quality of education and services the college provides? You have 3 minutes starting now.
Thank you. I think balancing affordability with quality is definitely something that's a key focus of mine. I think anytime, as chair for the Finance and Audit Committee, anytime we get any type of expenses or investments, the question is always, okay, what's the cost and how is this going to benefit? And at the end of the day, most of the times it's always, how is this going to make things that we've done before less expensive or cheaper in most cases? Just like President Cepeda mentioned, for the past 6 years, we've definitely we've managed to keep tuition stable without any increases whatsoever in tuition and fees. At the same time, maintaining the college financial stability, keeping that net where it is that we need it to be, without having to pass on the cost to the students. And I think that goes hand in hand with, some of the programs that we may have, making sure that the programs that we have in place are there to benefit the students. The students, more importantly, and I always get in trouble when I say this, but also for our local community. We always want to make sure that any program that exists here at Laredo College is something that's going to benefit our local students. Nothing that's going to benefit anything on the outside, just here within the community. While the word community has been removed from Laredo College, we still hold that with any question that we ask about the college itself. Goes back to our mission statement, though, of what Laredo College has. We also make sure we have a great grants team that allows us to get alternative funding, alternative resources with regards to what it is that we're trying to bring in that'll help us, whether it's by equipment, upgrade facilities, fix some of the facilities that we have, or more importantly, even for student services. Every time we try to engage in our student services and making sure that, well, let's be honest, that y'all are having a good time while y'all are here on campus. I think that goes hand in hand with making sure with the decisions that we make. We want to make sure that we continue to focus on that fiscal responsibility, and I think it's very important when it comes to any decisions that come in with whether it's programs and making sure that the students are going to be able to benefit from those programs. Seeking new revenue streams is also at the forefront, and all at the end of the day, making sure that we maintain a high standard of education while keeping the tuition and fees as low as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Candidate Delgado and Candidate Cepeda, for sharing your insights. We will now move on into our closing remarks.
Each candidate will have 3 minutes to offer their final thoughts and summarize why they believe they are the best candidate for the Laredo College Board of Trustees.
We will start with candidate Delgado, followed by candidate Cepeda.
Candidate Delgado, you may begin now.
Thank you so much. I definitely want to close with the fact that Laredo College has definitely made some significant strides over these past 6 years. Not to mention the dirty word of COVID, but we were able to find some successes in getting through the pandemic. And I think serving on this board has definitely been one of the honors of my life to play a role in those achievements. I go back when everyone always asks how I got started. I never planned to be on the board, so to speak. And I go back to how I started, which was back in 2016, in which, as a business owner, a lot of the students, I own an ambulance company, and a lot of the students that were graduating from the EMS program were obviously, thankfully, coming to work for me. And so a lot of when I have the conversations with the students, when they started working for me, it got me engaged in wanting to try to see exactly where they're getting their education from and how they're basically getting their certificates. I started off small and getting involved in some of the advisory committees with the health department or allied health school. And then from there, it just kind of grew. And I think being involved with the college itself has definitely taught me a lot. And more importantly, being on this board has definitely taught me a significant amount, to where the changes that we've tried to implement over the years that have seen great successes over the college has definitely come from working together with not only a great board, but also an excellent administration, an excellent faculty and staff, and more importantly, and lastly, the students. The students themselves are the ones that pick up at the end of the day and work their tails off to make sure to get where they want to get. But we want to make sure that if there's any barriers that we can remove, we want to make sure that we're able to do that. Our community definitely needs a college that's going to be able to continue to grow, that's going to continue to innovate, that can adapt, and in a rapidly changing world. We want to make sure that we can lead at the forefront with regards to innovation, and making sure that at the end of the day, the students themselves are able to enjoy and bask in that success. And of course, stay here in Laredo, whether it's open up businesses, working in the healthcare field, law enforcement, even in the transportation. We always hear all the time that, it's Laredo, Texas, or Texas itself is one of the best places to open up a business. And it's definitely true. And from a board perspective, we want to make sure that we take advantage of every opportunity that we have to make sure to help you in that success. So that when you graduate and you move on in life, hopefully you're staying here in Laredo, you're able to grow the Laredo economy to where it continues to be the best in the state and best in the nation. So, thank you.
Thank you, candidate Delgado. Candidate Cepeda, you may start now.
Right. Could you repeat the question? Oh, just closing, sorry. So when I started 6 years ago, I thought I was coming to a nonprofit board like I had served in the past. This is very different. I have learned, I've grown being on this board because at the end of the day, it's all about education. It's all about helping our students here at Laredo College. And I came here, oh God, I'm not going to show my age, but it's been a while. It was fun. There wasn't that many opportunities back then when I was here as there are now. Now is Laredo College is offering you anything and everything. You can do anything here at the college. We're also offering you opportunities to go out of town. I know a lot of us like to go out of town. I lived 21 years away from Laredo, but I came back because I love Laredo. And of course, I drank the water, is what everybody tells me, but But I got to experience. I lived in Houston and I lived in San Antonio and I worked in Tampa 6 months out of the year. And I got experience to be out of Laredo, but yet I came back to make a difference in Laredo. I love giving back to our community. Anything I do comes from my heart because I love helping students and I love helping our community overall. So I humbly ask for your vote to come back as a Laredo trustee to continue doing all the great things that we continue doing for Laredo College. Continue asking for money and helping out as many students as we can. Continue helping the workforce, preparing all of you to go work at the different companies. We have a lot of companies. We have a lot of companies coming into Laredo. I know it's all in the transportation, logistics, but there's opportunities here in Laredo, nursing, CDL drivers. So that's why we humbly ask for your vote, for your family and your vote to bring us back as your trustees. Thank you.
Thank you, Candidate Cepeda and Candidate Delgado. On behalf of the Laredo College Student Government Association, we want to extend a sincere thank you to all the candidates for participating in today's town hall. Your thoughtful responses have given our community valuable insights into how you plan to lead our institution into the future.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again. Thank you, everyone.
We also want to thank you, our audience, for being here today and for your continued engagement in sharing the future of Laredo College. Your voice matters, and we encourage you all to make an informed decision this upcoming election. Thank you.
Thank you, and have a great evening. We look forward to seeing you all again.